Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, folks. Good afternoon. And thanks for joining us wherever you're watching us from. And we're still here in the historic presidential birthday hall, or the Sanniequelle City Hall, where the National Elections Commission has been providing provisional results for the recently held Nimba County Senatorial By-Elections. And today marks day three, I guess, since the elections were held here in Sanniequelle, Nimba County, or Nimba County entirely. But the NEC is stationed here in Sanniequelle, and it's also stationed in Capital, where it also has talent centers. But again, this is where the commissioner or team of commissioners have been providing provisional results for the elections that was just held. And so today is another press briefing. The commission usually holds two briefings in a day. They hold one at 1 p.m., which is this one will start right away. And at 6 p.m. this evening, they expected to hold another one. So wherever you're watching us from, we're here now to bring you live coverage of this 1 p.m. press briefing as the commissioner, all of the commissioners are already here and they're going to make their way to the podium now where they will all take their seats to begin announcing the results. But before that commences, the commissioner usually calls for co-commissioners to a roundtable discussion where they'll be able to sit, have some tete-a-tete, have some brief conversations where they will be able to dot the I's and cross the T's, get their notes correct, get their notes right before they can go to the microphone and start announcing results. So over the past 3 days since the process begun, they've been announcing provisional results, and we've had just two candidates who have been in the lead, and those candidates are Madam Edith Gonglo Way, an independent candidate, and of course the MDR slash UP's candidate Samuel Koga. And so today we will also try to brief you, not necessarily brief you, but do a summary of those previous numbers that were pronounced. I will go over them, and then before we can join the commissioners to give us today's results. It's been 3 days since they've been announcing results. The first few numbers that they've called, they've gone a certain percentage so far, over 700 plus polling places. And we expect that today we are anticipating that we can have a reasonable amount of those polling places announced. But before that, my colleague Daniel will walk you through the previous numbers that were pronounced by the commission. Daniel?
Well, thank you, Anthony, and good afternoon again. Like you said, we are again here to provide you more information regarding the senatorial by-election and the provisional results. But yesterday we were here, especially in the evening hours around 6 o'clock, when the final provisional results were announced for yesterday, and the
Not the
commission.
final,
Yeah,
just provisional.
I said provisional for
Yeah.
yesterday, in the
Okay,
final
so
results, and out of 736 polling places, they announced 314, totaling for the 2.66%. And for the two top candidates, like you said, Madam Edith Gonglowe obtained a vote of 22,460, amounting to 43.66%. And Samuel Gongwakoga, the MDR candidate, obtained a vote of 22,588, amounting to 44.50%. Valid votes were 51,277, equal to 100%. Invalid votes claimed up to 1,214. Valid plus invalid votes amounted to 52,491. So, like you said, we are anticipating that hopefully maybe today announcement we will be hearing about 500 with the total votes have been tallied, and also to know who might be in a lead professionally, because they are close with the authority to make the announcement. Again, we are here, the commissioners, as usual, when they come, they have to do this meeting, a very short meeting, tete-a-tete, have some discussion, and then from there, before they can come back to the public. So as you can see behind us, they are having this meeting, and we are just left with 3 minutes to 1 o'clock. So sometime actually they have been prompt, they have been in time, observing time, And one thing we have noticed is the announcement can be very short, precise, and straight to the point. Then from there, it's left now with the journalist to ask their question. And one thing she said yesterday that it also moved me was extending an open invitation to the public, because sometimes too it raises this perception. If you have the opportunity, you can come. You may not be having opportunity to go on social media to watch this live, or you may not be having the opportunity to listen to the radio, but then hearsay, they say, I say, might be giving you another result. So sometimes if you have the opportunity or you are less busy, you can just walk out, especially 1 o'clock. Sometimes can be a lunch hour. You can come and sit and listen to the result yourself, jot it down, and then somebody may not be there to necessarily misinform you. Somebody may not be there, to misinform you. So today we are here. We are hoping again to get some update necessary, or some good portion of the results, because the five tallying rooms are doing extremely well. They are moving fast. The first pronouncement that was done during the 23rd of April, they told us that about 94 polling places were tallied, and we came back. We heard now about this one. So it definitely shows that the tallying officers are doing extremely well. They are moving fast, and she wants to also live within the commitment, because she told us the last time that at least after the polling are closed by or within the next 48 hours, she could have announced the final result. So
Reasonable amount of the results,
a reasonable amount of the result. So looking at all indication, they want to live up to that commitment. That's the reason they are doing everything possible. And just off the record, the electoral magistrate for Upper Nimba, he said that he wants for he and his team to work overtime at least, even to extend the timing up to 10, 11 o'clock, for them to meet up with that time, and also get everything possible to get everything done. And one of the issues she announced yesterday was a retrieval of all the ballot boxes, the essential and non-essential materials have been retrieved from the field. They are all now stored back in the warehouses of Sanniequelle and Tapeta. So these are all indications now. And I know one thing, that the temporary stars will be anticipating a year now, will be when will be the disbursement.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
or when will be the disbursement of their fund, because most of them now are still like around or what would be the next thing for them. So these are some of the things maybe we can ask her today, whether there is something in the pipeline for them, or there is a timeline frame attached to it, whether the finance people are working on these things. Maybe we can ask her these questions too today.
All right, folks. So today we expect to get fresh results. You heard from our colleague Daniel, and he's been bringing you up to speed on some of the developments as it relates to the election. So Daniel, folks, I think I can caution folks now to get their pen and papers. Take your own notes, write down your own numbers,
Yeah.
get them from the commissioner herself. Don't listen to, don't listen to. Someone says there is the Facebook NEC and there is the actual NEC.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, sure. So they are the actual authority, come with the responsibility to pronounce these results or this result for this particular election. So as we hear, it's expected at any moment from now, they'll take their seats. It's still in the little small cycle, having their tete-a-tete, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So as we await them, we'd like you to stick and stay with us. Keep following us here on LNTV Liberia Live. And also leave us your comments in the comment section for those of you who are watching us. Um, it's been 3 days now since we've been bringing you coverage of this particular election. We've gone to several places across Nimba County. If you may name some of them, we've had our own experiences while we were doing the coverage. We've also asked questions, asked the commissioner to address some of the concerns that we have had while going across, speaking of protection of the ballot boxes after the election, speaking of retrieving them from far to reach places, speaking of paying, pulling staff off. I think they're ready now. They're taking their seats now. So, folks, let's get ready. Any moment from now, we'll go behind camera. I think we should now go behind camera, Daniel.
Okay.
Sure.
So we will go behind camera, like Anthony said, and then we will await the commissioner to start. we'll do the announcement, then we will go to the podium.
Madam Co-Chairperson and members of the Board of Commissioners of the National Elections Commission, our senior present, members of the Secretariat Chairperson of the National Elections Commission, observers, party agents, members of the Fourth Estate. We'd like to again welcome you here today at the Sanniequelle City Hall in continuation of our daily press briefing. Here now is the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Madam Deviata Brown Lanson. Madam Chairperson.
On behalf of the co-chair and fellow commissioners of the National Elections Commission, we say, fellow Liberians, the people of Nimba County, distinguished stakeholders, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the Sanniequelle City Hall to our daily press briefing to update the public on the Nimba Senatorial By-Election. Fellow Liberians, I am pleased to report that all 736 polling places have reported records of the count. Let me also say that tallying is ongoing. Fellow Liberians, members of the press, let me now read out the third preliminary results from the 2025 Nimba County Senatorial By-Election from the tallied centers at the NEC magisterial offices. 682 polling places of a total of 736 polling places, constituting 92.66%. Candidates: Toboti Wanoke Fangalo, independent. Votes obtained 927, constituting 0.84%. B. Mac Blewon, CMC. Votes obtained 6,561, constituting 5.95%. Edith Lionel Gonglo We, independent. Votes obtained 38,454, constituting 34.87%. George Parkinson Gompu, ADML. Votes obtained 1,020, constituting 0.93%. Samuel Gongwin Koga, MDR. Votes obtained 56,706, constituting 51.43%. Richard Martino K. Tingba, VOLT. Votes obtained 1,412, constituting 1.8. I read that again. That is the percentage, 1.28%. Garrison Dole Yelu Jr., independent. Votes obtained 5,189, constituting 4.71%. Total valid votes 110,269, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 2,781, Total votes 113,050 votes. These were the results from both Sanniequelle and Tapita tally centers. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, as tally is ongoing, a final result from the Nimba Senatorial By-Election will be announced at 6 p.m. today, 24th April 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do we have questions or concerns, any from the media? Okay, please.
Madam Chairperson, thank you so much for the hard work in your team. I'm Frederick Dow, and I report for Voices for Nimba TV and Radio Nimba. The public would like to know, while going through the process, have there been any complaints received from any of the candidates or the party participating? Thank you.
To our knowledge, there is no complaint. We have not received any complaint.
Thank you. Madam Chairperson and all of commissioners of the National Elections Commission. Again, that being, I congratulate you and your team for the hard work well done for the Nimas people in ensuring that transparency is being held in the by-election process. Madam Chairperson, member of the Board of Commissioners, while it is true that there have been no formal complaint from any of the contestants or party to file complaint before your office or before your Board of Commissioners, what will become of complaint that will come after final result is been announced or pronounced by your team?
Those complaints, we will receive them and we will act upon them.
So my name is Archie, and I report for Blaze Radio and TV. My question has to do with the voter education as it relates to the equipment of the invalid votes. I'm concerned to know whether during the time of the voter education, the disabled community, preferably people with visually impaired and the dead people, are they represented when the voter education are going on? Because I want to believe uh, these should be some of the reasons for which the equipment of the voter invalid votes are being done.
Of persons with disability to the conduct of CVE.
Yeah, if they have representation to the conduct of the CVEs during electoral process.
If people with disability were part
Uh, I'm concerned to know whether during the CVEs you have people uh, provided to provide education for people living with disability, preferably visually impaired and deaf.
I cannot speak directly to that question, but I think the commission does everything to be inclusive of all groups of persons.
Madam Chairperson, let me extend thanks and appreciation to you and your fellow commissioners. Here's my concern. You mentioned earlier that today at 6 p.m., the official result or final result will be announced. So, when are we expecting official certification ceremony? Thank you.
After what? I'm informed that on our timeline, the certification should be on the 2nd of May.
My name is Lester Lanage. I work for Radio Sunway. We want to extend our thanks and appreciation to the election board. The question is, Nimba people are concerned that they vote on district level for them to elect the senator. But actually, when they listen to you, you always get the general report. Why you cannot give, the district report? That's a concern. So what can you say in that direction?
All right. I'm also informed that reports by district can be found online
Any other question?
and at the magisterial offices.
Well, good afternoon, Madam Chairperson and the members of the team. My name is Nokana Kali. I report for Super Bongis Radio. And we gather from some of the international monitors or national monitors that some of the precincts were not accessible to persons living with disabilities. What do you intend to do in terms of correcting that in the future or future elections?
The issue of inaccessibility of voting precincts to persons with disability is a challenge for the National Elections Commission, primarily because the structures that we use are not the structures owned by the National Elections Commission. They are school buildings and other structures that we use that do not have those facilities generally covering all of those institutions. We can just appeal to the institutions to do something about it. If the commission were to make those structures accessible, then that would mean uh, doing another budget for so many precincts that are structures that we use to be able to make them accessible. But then during the course of voting and what do you call it, voter registration, we have situations like these, but we try as best as possible to use the ground floor, for instance, for persons with disability to have some access to the process. But again, this is a challenge. It's a national challenge, and it's a challenge for the Elections Commission.
Madam Chairperson, Co-Chairperson, and members of the Board of Commissioners, would like to say thanks to the media for honoring our invitation, and we will be back at 6. Thank you very much.
Well, that's it, folks. This is the pronouncement for today. You just listened to the pronouncement by the National Elections Commission, and she make it very clear, as we have been discussing, hoping that everything goes well. So she made it very clear that today by 6 o'clock we will be hearing the final pronouncement. And Anthony, like we have been saying, the team has been working assiduously over time to ensure that everything can be done. Out of 736, they have pronounced 682, remaining with 54 polling places.
Sure.
And so she said that this evening there will be making the final pronouncement. So it shows that from now on, the team is actually working very hard and they will ensure that everything can be done possible so they can make a final pronouncement. So can you just walk us through with the numbers?
Sure. So the numbers are in, and it's you who is going to walk us through with them.
Okay.
And but that's it. I mean, we anticipated right when we said we were hoping that the NEC would have announced a reasonable amount of the votes that were already in, and they obviously did. So let's look forward to 6 p.m. to get the final result. And I think yes, you can follow us through with the results that were announced by the commissioner.
Okay, thank you so much once again. Out of 736 polling places, 682 have been tallied, amounting to 92.66%. The top two candidates, Madam Elif Gongloway, has obtained a vote of 38,454, amounting to 34.87%. Samuel Koga has obtained a vote of 56,706, amounting to 51.43%. Valid vote is 110,269, which is 100%. Invalid vote is 2,781. Total vote is 113,050 votes. So with regards to the number of turnout, I think Anthony, I think Nimba did well.
Yeah.
Because Nimba has about 300 plus registered voters.
Sure.
So yeah,
A
so
huge number.
taking into consideration during the general election, people were transported from Monrovia, from other parts of the country to come and register here. And now this is a senatorial election. Every one of them were able to come. Some have even passed off. But at least looking at this particular number and number yet to come, we can see that the number of turnout was good. You know, well,
Sure.
to me, looking at the number of turnout was good because if you really have to sit and do proper analysis, people who maybe have traveled, people who have died, and people who were unable to come, if you do that, and do the deduction from what we have, it shows that the number of turnout was actually successful.
Definitely, very reasonable turnout, I can say. And I mean, the numbers are in. We anticipate 6 p.m. to know who have won the election to take the place of fallen Senator Prince Wyatt Johnson, who was obviously a godfather for Nimba County. So this will mean much for the people of Nimba, in my mind. And it obviously is actually.
Sure.
I mean, to have a hero like fallen Senator Prince Wyatt Johnson replaced, it's not an easy process. But again, good thing is this election was held peacefully, void of any complications. Though the NEC mentioned some small, observations they had, which the commissioner said they will be worked on. But yes, we look forward to 6 p.m. to get the final results. So I think we can wrap things up now and get prepared for 6 p.m. Daniel.
And finally, one good thing I've always observed is she have always and consistently reported that they have not received any complaint.
No.
So they definitely show that this particular election was peacefully held.
Definitely. I mean, currently now as we speak, even with these numbers that we have, someone is in 54% already of the votes. I can guarantee you on social media right now. Though earlier we were raising concerns about people congratulating people when the commission have not pronounced a reasonable amount of the votes. But I can guarantee you right now, social media will be on fire. People will already be congratulating candidates for the results that have been pronounced already. But again, it still doesn't mean that we can't wait for 6 p.m. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. And before we just go, before us coming here today in Sanniequelle and coming live, one of the contestants, Richard Matoroge Tingma, I considered defeat earlier
Alright,
on. Yeah, he
so
considered defeat earlier on. So because most of them have their war room, even though they are not the official
yeah,
person
yes.
to make a pronouncement, but once they
But they
have
have
their,
their
yeah,
own
their
numbers.
own numbers, their pool watchers reported to them, so they know definitely their standpoint.
Sure, Daniel. So yes, we can now call this a quick. For those of you who have followed, watch this space. At 6 p.m. we will be here to bring you the final lap of the election activities. We know the activities will continue after 6 p.m. The NEC has certification ceremonies to conduct. The NEC might also be looking into complaints that might be filed. We not. They have said that if they are yet to receive any complaints from any political party or any independent candidate. But again, 6 p.m. we get the final results from the NEC. My name is Anthony Williams.
Thank you so much. And so, folks, just keep following LMTV. Just keep following LMTV. But before we can go quickly, out of 736 polling places, 682 have been tallied, amounting to 92.66%. The two top candidates, Madam Ilef Gongloway, has obtained the vote of 38,454, amounting to 34.87%. Samuel Gongmakoga, the MTR candidate, has obtained a vote of 56,706, amounting to 51.43%. Valid votes is 110,269, 100%. Invalid vote 2,781, and also total votes count is 113,050 votes. So that's it. Keep following LMTV. We hope to be here this evening. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Daniel.